I don't wanna make another video, man. I don't wanna. Ow, my ovary.
Shut your bitch ass up!
Yes, daddy.
They all, Null here. So I'm finding it hard to believe they introduced that cool original design for SMG4 for no reason. There's no way they went through the effort of making a new model as well as an SMG4 version of that model, only so it would be used in a single episode, which is not even a movie or the end of an arc or anything, but a normal arc episode, which does not have anything too important or eventful occur. I mean, sure, they have done this with the Mario Does It to Win models, but those were built on top of an existing model. I'm pretty certain for this reason we will see this model again during Lockby, although I'm actually split on whether it could become permanent.
Obviously there would be the strong argument against SMG4 getting the permanent redesign, which is that his design is too iconic and many people would be against it, as well as the fact that Watfi's name would no longer make all too much sense, and I definitely don't see them ever scrapping Watfi or its iconic name. There are also the arguments that they may have just made the model in case Nintendo ever did come after them so that they had it right there and then, or that they made it just to increase the tension of the arc a bit by playing on fans' fear of a reboot of the series happening which removed all the Nintendo characters, although personally I don't find these arguments very convincing for why they made this model. On the other hand, the argument for the redesign becoming permanent is pretty strong as well. Obviously they went through the effort of making the model, but also Luke has stated in the past that he was thinking of redesigning SMG4 because he felt it was sort of a boring design, as it is just a recolour of Mario. SMG4 is also represented in this redesigned look in official merch and images, such as the Watfi 2022 logo, though this is likely due to copyright reasons. One final argument for the redesign becoming permanent is that in the description for the Watfi 2022 trailer, it says the course of their lives will change forever, which does suggest some sort of change will occur, which is typical of Watfis recently. The Twitter announcement has a slightly different description of the trailer, with it suggesting that change may be less certain, but I think the video's description has more weight to it.
So what I wonder is how they may implement the permanent redesign into the series. After all, SMG4 always gives a story reason for redesigns, and I do not see any better way to make this change than with this arc, which is also about copyright. So what's interesting about this redesign is that it is actually SMG4's form, if he was a Nintendo IP, not if he was a completely original character design-wise, as he is supposed to be Stanley the Bugman in a clever reference to how SMG4 coincidentally has the same colored overalls as him. This makes me wonder if in Watfi, perhaps SMG4 and Maggie are unable to achieve a full victory over Nintendo, but neither is Nintendo. They come to a stalemate. Perhaps they make a compromise with Lawyer Kong or Miyamoto, depending on if Miyamoto decides to fire Lawyer Kong after realizing that Mario may only work with him if he's happy. In this compromise, SMG4 is allowed to continue to make his content, but to end all these legal issues he and his channel have to become owned by Nintendo to some extent, and so he adopts his Nintendo IP form permanently as a consequence.
With everything we currently have, this is the best idea I could come up with on why SMG4's redesign may become permanent. I do not know if this would really make sense, Nintendo buying SMG4 within the SMG4 universe, as obviously even within the SMG4 canon Nintendo is strictly child-friendly, which SMG4 is obviously not. Perhaps instead of Nintendo making him adopt the design due to them gaining ownership, instead, they make him adopt the design so that his channel is less associated with Nintendo, as he is a Mario recolour after all. What do you guys think? How do you think the redesign might become permanent? Tell me below in the comments.
I've got 2 side notes before wrapping up. Firstly, an SMG4 redesign would pretty much necessitate an SMG3 redesign as well, since it would just be jarring if SMG3 stayed the same, but SMG4 did not. And with SMG3, along with every other orc, being in WOTFI 2022 in the trial at the very least, this means he'd be there if SMG4 got a redesign, and so could get one himself as well. Secondly, I wonder if them including the redesign in if Mario was in Splatoon 3 was to test the waters, to see how people would react to the design, which would give them an indication of what may happen if they made the redesign permanent. I myself have seen a sort of mixed reaction, maybe more tilted towards a positive or neutral stance. But there are definitely people who don't like the design, and then there is also a separate smaller group of people who might riot as if my sexy self was killed off from the series. Personally, the design has grown on me and I quite like it. If it did become permanent, I would be perfectly fine with it. So I think overall I've got a neutral stance on the redesign debate. You know, you're kinda adorable when you don't speak.
Jub. The fuck? This has gone on long enough. Void.